Let's take a moment to talk about something we don't see, something we often don't even think about, yet it's holding us together every second of the day. Collagen. It's not flashy, you won't feel it like a heartbeat or see it like a wrinkle in the mirror, but collagen is the very fabric of your structure. It's the scaffolding that keeps your bones, joints, skin, ligaments, and tendons functioning. And for seniors, the reality is stark. By the time we hit our 60s, we've lost nearly 30% or more of our body's natural collagen production. That's not a soft decline. That's a structural collapse if we don't intervene. Now, I want you to think of your body like a suspension bridge. Every tendon, every ligament, every bit of cartilage that lets you walk across the room, pick up a grandchild, or even open a jar, that's your bridge. Collagen is the steel cable that holds the whole thing together. When we're young, those cables are taut, resilient, and nearly indestructible. But as we age, they start to fray, bit by bit. Year after year, the tension softens, the joints creak, the steps become slower. And many people believe that's just normal aging. But what if I told you that's not the full story? We're not powerless passengers on this journey. Biology may write the script, but nutrition, movement, and mindfulness hold the pen. You see, collagen isn't just something your body uses, it's something your body makes, but only if it has the right tools. As the natural machinery slows down, especially in our later decades, the body needs more support, more raw materials to keep making this vital protein. And this is where most people miss the mark. They chase pills, powders, and injections without first asking, what am I feeding my body at the foundation? There's a philosophical truth hidden in this biology. Aging isn't just a physical decline, it's often a disconnection from the body's original design. We assume that stiffness and joint pain are a sentence handed down by time, but they're often the echo of depletion. The body is whispering, I need something. Most of us don't know how to listen anymore. Instead of interpreting those whispers as warnings, we accept them as inevitabilities. Collagen is not just about flexibility or cosmetic benefits. It's about freedom. It's the freedom to move without pain, to garden without stiffness, to rise from bed in the morning without feeling like the Tin Man. And freedom is something worth rebuilding deliberately, daily, and with purpose. The beauty of collagen is that it's not locked behind prescriptions or high-tech solutions. Nature, in her wisdom, gave us everything we need to support it, especially in the humble, often underestimated world of vegetables. But before we even get to the list of what to eat, we have to recognize why this matters. Because when you understand what's at stake, when you realize that something as simple as your diet can be the difference between chronic discomfort and lasting mobility, you begin to take those choices more seriously. I've seen seniors who regain not just movement, but motivation. They begin to move better so they feel better. And when they feel better, they engage more deeply with life. It's a positive loop. And at the core of it is that invisible, powerful protein, collagen. Supporting it isn't about vanity, it's about vitality. I'm not just talking about adding years to your life. I'm talking about adding life to your years. We often praise longevity, but let's be honest. No one wants a long life if it means living in chronic pain, dependency, or frustration. The goal is functional longevity, to wake up every day and have confidence in your body's ability to do what it's meant to do. Walk, reach, bend, lift, breathe. Collagen is part of the architecture that makes that possible. So as we move into the specifics of what vegetables can support this process, and there are 7 I'll share that truly make a difference, remember, this isn't just about nutrition. It's about reclaiming agency. It's about giving your body the resources to rebuild what time has slowly taken. You're not decaying, you're adapting, you're evolving. And that evolution can be strengthened with the right inputs. Collagen isn't just a scientific term, it's a daily opportunity, an invitation to rebuild your internal foundation. So ask yourself, not tomorrow, not next week, but today, what am I doing to support the bridge that carries me through life? When people hear the word collagen, they often think of supplements, powders, maybe even injections. It's been branded as a kind of magic bullet. promising youthful skin, strong joints, and a more mobile, pain-free life. But here's the truth most don't realize. Your body doesn't absorb collagen whole. It doesn't take a scoop of collagen and plug it directly into your knees or your spine. What it does, what it's always done, is break collagen down into building blocks. And then, if it has the right cofactors, the right signals, and the right environment, it rebuilds it. And here's where vegetables enter the story. Not as an afterthought, but as the very architects of the process. See, collagen is not something we simply consume, it's something we construct. And construction, as you know, requires more than bricks. It needs tools, it needs workers, it needs energy. Collagen building is the same. It's a biological blueprint that requires specific nutrients to bring it to life. And many of the most important of these nutrients are found in vegetables. I want to reframe how you think about food. Don't just think of meals as calories or flavor or tradition. Think of every bite you take as information. Each vegetable, each leaf of kale or slice of bell pepper is not just food. It's data for your cells. It tells your body what to build, how to repair, when to fight inflammation, when to produce more enzymes, and yes, how to make more collagen. Now let's go deeper. There's a fascinating paradox here. While vegetables don't contain collagen directly, because collagen is an animal protein, they are absolutely essential in the process of collagen synthesis. Why? Because they carry the keys to unlock the engine. Think vitamin C, zinc, copper, manganese, and phytonutrients. Without these, the body can't activate the enzymes that convert amino acids into usable collagen. Like having bricks but no mortar, no blueprints, no construction crew. Vitamin C, for example, isn't just good for your immune system. It's vital for the hydroxylation process, a fancy term for how your body stabilizes and forms collagen triple helix structures. So where do we get that? From bell peppers, broccoli, leafy greens, and tomatoes. Zinc and copper, which are necessary for collagen cross-linking, show up in spinach, mushrooms, and even garlic. These vegetables are doing invisible work, structural work. They're not just keeping your joints from hurting today, they're laying down the scaffolding for resilience tomorrow. There's a deeper lesson in all this. In our modern world, we're taught to look for single solutions to complex problems. A pill for pain, a shot for energy, a powder for youth. But nature rarely works that way. Nature is systems-based. It works holistically. It relies on balance, synergy, and timing. Vegetables embody that philosophy. They don't just do one thing. They do many things. They reduce inflammation. They support the gut microbiome. They lower oxidative stress. They trigger genetic expressions that slow aging. And yes, they quietly help your body build collagen from within. This is especially critical for seniors. As we age, not only does collagen production slow down, but the body also becomes less efficient at absorbing nutrients. That's why food quality becomes even more important. You're not just eating to fill your stomach anymore, you're eating to fuel precision. Every vegetable matters. Every micronutrient counts. And there's something incredibly empowering about this. You don't need to rely on expensive treatments or complicated routines. You have the power to begin rebuilding yourself daily, simply and naturally, through choices, at the table. You're not chasing youth, you're anchoring vitality through biological intelligence. There's also a mental shift that occurs when we approach food not as indulgence, but as a form of self-respect. Every time you reach for vegetables that nourish your connective tissue, that reduce inflammation, that support collagen regeneration, you're saying, my body matters, my future matters, my mobility is worth protecting. And that mindset creates a feedback loop. Healthy choices create healthy feelings, which inspire more healthy choices. This is not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming aware. Knowing that your next meal could be the beginning of something regenerative, not just for your joints, but for your sense of agency. So if you've been feeling stiff, you've noticed that your knees ache more than they used to. If your hands feel less steady or your hips resist movement, don't just accept it as fate. Your body is speaking in symptoms. It's not breaking down, it's asking for support. And vegetables, though humble, are one of the most powerful tools you can use to answer that call. You may not be able to rewind the clock, but you can strengthen the foundation you stand on. Because ultimately, the goal is not just to live longer, it's to move freely through the life you still have. Let's talk about the raw materials. We've already explored why collagen matters and how vegetables, while not sources of collagen themselves, are crucial to the process. But now we need to dive into the molecular level, to the actual nutrients that do the heavy lifting, that orchestrate the creation of collagen within your body, piece by peace. Because understanding what your body needs to build collagen gives you the power to nourish it deliberately, not accidentally. Think of your body like a symphony. Collagen production is not a solo act. It's a coordinated performance, and it requires multiple instruments playing in harmony. If even one is missing, the music falters. The same goes for your joints, your skin, your connective tissue. To produce collagen efficiently and consistently, especially as you age, your body needs key nutrients acting as catalysts. And if you know what those nutrients are and where to get them, you can essentially become the conductor of your own biological orchestra. Let's begin with vitamin C. This isn't just the nutrient you take when you have a cold. It's the activator of collagen synthesis. Without it, the amino acids that form collagen, proline, and lysine remain dormant. Vitamin C modifies these amino acids through a process called hydroxylation, giving them the structure they need to form stable triple helix collagen fibers. This isn't theory, this is basic cellular chemistry. Vitamin C parogen fibuho, high-tech fibera, and MH. And it's why people with low vitamin C levels, not even full-blown deficiency, just low, often suffer from weakened joints, slower healing, and brittle connective tissue. Now think about that. One vitamin, commonly found in foods as simple as red bell peppers, kale, broccoli, and Brussels sprouts, can literally determine whether your body builds or breaks down. That's not just a nutrient, that's leverage. Then we have the amino acids themselves, proline, glycine, and lysine. These are the building blocks, the bricks of the collagen wall. Your body can produce some of them on its own, particularly glycine and proline, but not in sufficient quantities, especially as you age. Lysine, on the other hand, is essential, meaning you must get it from your diet. Without adequate amino acids, there is no collagen structure to stabilize. You're missing the material for the construction site. And while you can get some from protein-rich plant foods like legumes, nuts, and seeds, this is also where pairing those foods with collagen-supported vegetables becomes so critical. But we're not done. Sulfur compounds, like those found in garlic, onions, and leeks, play a supporting but essential role. They help in the formation of collagen crosslinks. These are the chemical bonds that give collagen its strength and durability. Without sulfur, collagen fibers remain fragile, like ropes without knots. You can have all the protein in the world, but if it's not cross-linked properly, it doesn't function well. Again, this is where food becomes engineering. Every nutrient is a piece of structural integrity. Zinc and copper, too, often overlooked, are needed for enzymes that stabilize and mature the collagen matrix. They help prevent breakdown and support remodeling. So your joints don't just survive wear and tear, but actively regenerate. Zinc is found in pumpkin seeds and chickpeas. Copper shows up in leafy greens, mushrooms, even sweet potatoes. These trace minerals are like the site supervisors. Without them, the whole repair crew shuts down. Now here's where it gets psychologically interesting. We tend to think about health reactively. We wait until the pain shows up, until something breaks, and only then do we consider what might have gone wrong nutritionally. But the nutrients I'm describing are not just therapeutic. They're foundational. They don't just help you fix what's broken, they help you build resilience so it doesn't break in the first place. When seniors come to me feeling stiff, fatigued, like they've just gotten old, I often ask them, are you giving your body what it needs to keep building? Not just what it needs to survive, but to rebuild, to renew. And this is a powerful mindset shift. You stop thinking of yourself as deteriorating. You begin to see yourself as actively under construction, not crumbling, but transforming. Biology is not a passive process. It's responsive, it's dynamic. It listens to what you give it and it adapts accordingly. If you feed it the raw materials of youth, it doesn't turn back time, but it strengthens the foundation of the present. And that, for many, is more than enough. So the next time you prepare a meal, pause for a moment. Look at your plate and ask, is this giving my body the ingredients it needs to rebuild me? Am I feeding my pain or am I feeding my repair? Because every joint in your body, every ligament that stretches, every tendon that holds, relies on tiny microscopic builders. And they're waiting on you. They need the right tools. And the truth is, when you give your body what it truly needs, it doesn't just respond, it rewards you. Let's bring all of this to the ground, literally. We've talked about the why collagen matters, why vegetables, despite not containing collagen, are critical to supporting its natural production, and which nutrients serve as the biochemical architects behind it. Now it's time to get specific. If you're going to support your joints, rebuild your mobility, and strengthen your body from the inside out, you need to know which vegetables deserve a permanent place in your kitchen, your plate, and frankly, your life. I want to share with you 7 vegetables that, based on the science, the nutritional profile, and the way they work synergistically with your body's own systems, are essential. These are the vegetables seniors should not just eat occasionally, but daily, because when eaten regularly, they don't just sustain, they regenerate. Let's start with kale. This leafy green may be trendy in health circles, but its reputation is well earned. Kale is a powerhouse of vitamin C, which, as we've discussed, is absolutely essential for collagen synthesis. But there's more to it. Kale also contains a unique class of antioxidants called glucosinolates, which help reduce inflammation, a silent destroyer of joint tissue. Think of inflammation as rust inside your body. Kale helps clean it off. And here's something deeper to reflect on. The bitterness of kale, which turns some people off, is precisely what makes it so medicinal. It's nature's way of saying healing doesn't always taste sweet, but it's worth it. Now look at spinach. Spinach is often seen as just a source of iron, but for collagen production, its value lies in its magnesium and vitamin A content. Magnesium activates over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, including those involved in protein synthesis. Without it, your body's collagen assembly line slows down. Vitamin A, on the other hand, helps regulate the cells responsible for tissue repair. Think of spinach as the silent operator. It doesn't shout, but it gets the job done. Broccoli is next, and here's where things get interesting. Broccoli is more than a source of fiber or a side dish you steam out of guilt. It's a vitamin C juggernaut. But it also contains a compound called sulforaphan, an antioxidant that activates the body's natural detoxification enzymes. Why does that matter? Because collagen isn't just built, it's protected. Oxidative stress from pollution, poor diet, or even chronic emotional stress can damage collagen fibers. Broccoli acts like an internal shield, preserving the integrity of what your body works so hard to create. Let's turn to red bell peppers. If there's one vegetable on this list that you should treat like medicine, it's this one. Just one red bell pepper delivers more than twice the vitamin C of an orange, and without the sugar spike. But it's not just the vitamin C that's doing the work. Red peppers are also rich in carotenoids, especially beta-carotene, which convert to vitamin A and help fortify the skin and connective tissue. Eating red bell peppers daily isn't about trends, it's about giving your cells the signal to heal faster, hold stronger, and age slower. Tomatoes offer a slightly different benefit. They're loaded with lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that doesn't just support collagen, it preserves it. Lycopene helps defend your cells against damage from free radicals, which can degrade joint tissue over time. Cooked tomatoes actually release more lycopene, so this is one vegetable where heat improves its therapeutic potential. A spoonful of tomato paste in your soup or some roasted cherry tomatoes on your salad can go a long way. Now we come to garlic. This is not just a flavor enhancer, it's a biochemical tool. Garlic contains sulfur, which is vital for the formation of collagen's connective crosslinks. Without sulfur, collagen remains weak and disorganized. But there's also something deeper here. Garlic is antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, and supports circulation. In many traditional healing systems, garlic is viewed as a purifier, a way to cleanse the body and prepare it to rebuild. So when you chop garlic into your meals, you're not just seasoning, you're signaling your body to clear the way for renewal. And finally, sweet potatoes. These root vegetables are high in vitamin A, which plays a critical role in cellular turnover. But more than that, sweet potatoes are grounding. In Eastern medicine, they're seen as stabilizers, food that nourishes deeply and brings warmth to the system. The sweetness of sweet potatoes doesn't come with the sugar crash. It comes with beta-carotene, fiber, and slow-burning energy. When your body feels safe and nourished, it turns on healing processes that it suppresses under stress. And for many seniors, that's the turning point, moving from survival mode to regeneration mode. All 7 of these vegetables are accessible, they're affordable, and they're powerful when eaten consistently. You don't need a gourmet recipe or a complicated plan, you just need intention. Because at this stage in life, food is no longer just about taste, it's about transformation. Each of these vegetables is a message to your body. I am choosing to support you. I am choosing to rebuild. So the next time you look at your grocery list or stand in front of your refrigerator, ask yourself, not what do I feel like eating, but what does my body need to thrive? Because aging doesn't begin in the joints, it begins in the choices. And with the right ones, you don't just slow the decline, you reignite the renewal. Now that you know the 7 vegetables that help rebuild collagen, restore your joints from the inside out, the natural next question is, how do I make this work in my daily life? Because let's be honest, knowledge doesn't change the body, action does. Information becomes transformation only when it finds its way into your habits, into your plate, into your kitchen. And that's where most people get stuck. Not because they lack discipline, but because life is full. We're dealing with routines that have been set in place for decades. Shifting them requires intention and a strategy that feels not just logical, but livable. What we're really talking about here is integration, not adding stress, not overhauling everything you do overnight, but learning how to bring these powerful collagen-supporting vegetables into your life in a way that feels natural, enjoyable, even comforting. You don't need to count every nutrient or measure every gram. You just need consistency. Small, steady actions repeated daily. That's how the body heals. That's how joints rebuild. That's how inflammation cools and strength returns. So let's ground this in practicality. One of the easiest ways to begin is by thinking in layers. Start your day with a foundation. A smoothie, for example, is a great canvas. Toss in a handful of spinach or kale. Blend it with some fruit. Maybe a splash of almond milk, a bit of flaxseed. You don't need a taste of vegetables to benefit from them. They're there doing their quiet work, helping your cells rebuild while you sip your breakfast. Lunch is another opportunity. Think soup, stews, or even a hearty grain bowl. Add roasted broccoli or steamed sweet potatoes. Toss in some garlic sauteed in olive oil for that extra collagen supportive sulfur. It doesn't have to be fancy, just intentional. If you're making a sandwich or a wrap, add spinach instead of lettuce. Slice a red bell pepper for crunch instead of reaching for chips. The goal isn't perfection, it's presence. Be present with what you're eating and why. Dinner can be a place of transformation. This is where a lot of people fall into default modes. Meat, starch, done. But what if dinner became the most nutrient-dense meal of your day? Imagine a plate that has color, life, vitality, roasted tomatoes, sauteed greens, a medley of vegetables drizzled in lemon for vitamin C activation. These aren't just side dishes. They're therapeutic agents. They're doing real biological work while you enjoy your meal. And if you're someone who doesn't cook often, start small. Buy pre-washed greens, pre-chopped vegetables, use a slow cooker. Take shortcuts that reduce resistance, but don't skip the ritual. Because cooking for yourself, even in simple ways, isn't just a health practice, it's a psychological one. It tells your subconscious, I'm worth the effort, my healing matters. This is especially important as we get older, because time has a way of making us believe the best of life is behind us. But that's not true. In fact, food gives us a daily reminder that change is still possible, that your body is still listening, that regeneration isn't just for the young, it's for the wise. It's for those who understand that true strength doesn't come from doing more, but from doing what matters consistently. You can also think about building a weekly rhythm. Make a big pot of soup or stew on Sunday with garlic, onions, spinach, and tomatoes. Portion it out and freeze some. That's 5 meals taken care of. Keep bell peppers on hand for snacks. Roast your tray of sweet potatoes while you're watching TV. These tiny acts accumulate. And with every bite, you're feeding the parts of your body that you can't see, but that you depend on every day. Your knees, your back, your shoulders, your hands. And don't forget the emotional dimension of all of this. Food is deeply personal. It's tied to memory, identity, culture. The vegetables I'm recommending aren't meant to replace your traditions. They're meant to strengthen them. Add spinach to your family recipes. Toss kale into your stews. Reinvent rather than reject the meals you already love. That's how you create a life of nourishment without sacrifice. Because ultimately, this isn't about vegetables, it's about vitality. It's about choosing to live with intention, even in the smallest ways. Every meal is a decision. A forkful of spinach is a vote for better joints. A scoop of roasted broccoli is a message to your body, I believe in your ability to heal. And that belief, that's where healing begins. So don't wait for motivation, create a rhythm. Build rituals, turn meals into medicine and habits into healing. Because at the end of the day, your body will build what you feed it. And when you feed it wisely, consistently, and with love, it remembers how to rebuild you. Let's step back for a moment. You now understand why collagen matters, how certain vegetables activate its production, what specific nutrients your body needs, and even how to build them into your everyday life. But there's one more piece to the puzzle, something that operates underneath all the nutrition, all the knowledge, the terrain in which everything else either thrives or fails. And that's your lifestyle. Because collagen doesn't exist in isolation. It lives in a system. And that system responds to how you live. See,